Hi everyone and welcome to Warren's Team Talk. Thank you very much for coming and joining me this afternoon, or if you're in England or if you're overseas, whatever time of day it is. But thank you very much for coming and joining me. Anyway, so today it's the Match Day Live show, and we've got 2 games from the English Premiership for you, and we've got 2 games from the Scottish Premiership. So it should be a fun-packed afternoon. Plenty of goals, plenty of drama, plenty of excitement. Well, let's hope so anyway. So today we've got, well, let's have a look, see what games we've got for you today. So we have got, here we go. So we've got Fulham against Bournemouth, Wolves against Nottingham Forest, Celtic against Hibernian, and Ross County against Dundee United. So that should provide plenty of excitement for us today. There's only 2 games in the English Premiership with 3 o'clock kickoffs today, and that's the 2 games that we're featuring. So yeah, let's see what happens. Now, earlier today there was a game in the Premier League, which was a lunchtime kickoff, 12:30. And the game ended in a 0-0 draw between Leicester City and Crystal Palace. Now, in this game, Leicester had 53% possession. They had 14 shots against Crystal Palace's 8. Leicester had 5 shots on target and Palace had 1. And Leicester had 9 corners and Palace had 2. And the foul count was, what's that say? Can't even read it. 18-13 in favour of Leicester. So there you go. Sounds like Leicester was slightly on top. Well, according to the match stats, it sounds like Leicester were on top, but they just couldn't find the breakthrough. But there you go. Now, the league table. Now, this is up until 2 days ago. So it doesn't include Saturday's lunchtime game, I should say. Arsenal are still top, having played 9 games with 24 points. They're 1 point ahead of Manchester City. Then we have Tottenham in 3rd place on 20 points. And in 4th place, it's Chelsea on 16. And 5th are Manchester United with 15. So that's your top 5. The bottom 3 currently are Wolverhampton Wanderers, Nottingham Forest, and Leicester City. And there's only 2 points between the 3 clubs. And Southampton are 4th bottom, 1 point ahead of those bottom 3. So there you go. That's that. And the league table in the Scottish Premiership, Celtic are running away with it, as they have done for a good few years, like probably about 10 out of the last 11. They've only lost 1 game. They've got a goal difference of plus 24. Rangers, they're in 2nd. They're 2 points behind. And Hibs are in 3rd and St Mirren are 4th. The other, so Hibs are in 3rd, so could be an interesting game today at Parkhead, although they are 7 points behind. And then Ross County, the Highlanders, they're bottom of the table, but they're level on points with Dundee United. But they're just bottom on virtue of the fact they scored less goals. So Ross County are at home today, so another game which should be fairly interesting up in Dingwall, up in the Highlands. So let's see what happens with that one. Yeah, so lovely part of the world to go and visit, but there you are. So that's the games. In a minute, we're going to get into the lineups and formations. I'm just going to quickly say hello to people in the chat. Grant McRobert says, hello, afternoon, Warren. Afternoon, mate. I hope you're well. Lovely to see you. Thanks very much for coming in. And then we got the main man himself, Mr. Carl Walsh Gunner. He says, big up, Warren. Looking forward to this. A cup of tea and Warren on the Saturday afternoon. Can't beat it. Thank you so much, my man. You're a top fella. I'm going to I'm going to try and call you later after this is finished and for a chat, because there's a couple of things I need to have a little chat with you about. It's all good. It's all good. It's nothing to worry about, mate. I just want to have a chat with you about a few things. And I hope you're well, Carl. I hope everything's okay with you. And I'm looking forward to having a chat a bit later on. So let's have a look at the lineups and the formations. So first one, Fulham against Bournemouth. Fulham's team is Leno, De Cordova, Reed, Diop, Ream, who's captain, Robinson, Reed, Palhina, James, Andreas, Cabano, and Mitrovic. And Bournemouth have gone with Neto, Fredericks, Cook, Mepham, Lerma, Solanke, Christie, Smith, who's captain, Tavernier, Sensini, and Billing. And the lineups, Fulham are going with a 4-2-3-1 and Bournemouth are going with a 4-4-2. Now, the next game is Wolves against Notts Forest. And seriously, Wolves, you need to sort out your starting 11 notifications on Twitter, because it's a shambles. I don't want any more of these movies that you keep putting up. Need to stop doing that. It is so annoying and it makes it really difficult. But anyway, the fair play to Wolves are a great club, and when I first started this channel, they were really helpful to me. Someone at their club gave me a lot of really good advice, so I'm really grateful to them for that. The starting 11 for Wolves today is Sarr, Johnny, Totti, Kilman, Ait-Nouri, Nunes, Neves, his captain, Moutinho, Traore, Costa, and Podence. And the Notts Forest starting 11 is Henderson, Cook, Williams, Gibbs-White, Toffolo, Johnson, Koyate, Yates, who's captain, Freuler, Dennis, and McKenna. And the formations for those two sides this afternoon. Wolves are going for a 4-2-3-1 and Forest are going with a 4-3-3. So there you have it. So that's the starting 11s for the English Premiership games. Kyle Walsh is in the chat again and he's saying, absolutely, mate, give me a shout later. No problem at all. Okay. Fantastic, man. I'm looking forward to it. And Joanne Smith says, hello, Warren. Hi, Joanne. I saw what you said last night on Diesel Show. I was watching it this morning because I was recording a show when that was going live. And congratulations on your weight loss. Looks like you've absolutely smashed it. So fair play to you. And Joanne saying Fulham 2, Bournemouth 1. Fair play. And she's going Wolves 2, Nottingham Forest 2. Yeah, I think you might be right with both of those. Because that Wolves Notts Forest game, I think that's going to be a right ding-dong battle because it's a massive relegation battle. Both clubs are in, I think, both of them are in the bottom three. So huge game today up at Molineux. So let's move on to the Scottish Premier League. Celtic are taking on the Hibs today at Parkhead. And let me just go through the Celtic and the Hibs teams, and I'm going to tell you a little bit something from Celtic and Hibs history that it involves both of them, actually. And I found it quite interesting when I found this out, but I'm going to tell you about it in a minute. So the Celtic team today is Hart, Ralston, Carter Vickers, who's captain, Jens, Burnaby, Modi, O'Reilly, Hatate, Forrest, Haksabanovic, and Giacomarquez. I probably butchered that name, but there you go. And Hibs, their starting 11 is Marshall, Caden, Porteous, Hanlon, Stevenson, Kene, Newell, Campbell, Boyle, McCurdy, and Kuharevich. And for those of you who are Arsenal fans, Marshall used to be a goalkeeper on Arsenal's books, and it looks like he might be captain today. So fair play to the lad. The lineups for this game is Celtic are going with a 4-3-3. Giamakis leading the line for Celtic by the looks of it. And then Hibs are going for a 4-1-4-1. The Aussie Gooner will be absolutely delighted to see that, I'm going to assure you. Only joking, mate. Listen, tomorrow morning, make sure you keep your eyes open, because I interviewed last night Aussie Gooner. Absolutely fascinating interaction that we had, and he's a really interesting guy to listen to, talking about his life as a football fan in Australia. So I'll be putting that out tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning. So make sure you check that out. It's well worth a watch. It's going to be fantastic. So yeah, make sure you keep your notifications switched on, because it's going to be great. So what? Yep, and the next game up in Dingwall, we've got Ross County taking on Dundee United. Both these teams are bottom and second bottom of the Scottish Premier League. And Ross County's starting 11 is Laidlaw, Johnson, Baldwin, Iakovici, Purrington, Tilson, Cancelo, Callaghan, Himwala, Aurora, and White. And Ross County are going with Ericsson, Smith, McMahon, Edwards, who's captain, Sibbald, Middleton, Bahich, McGrath, Leavitt, Freeman, and Watt. And the starting lineups for those two sides, Ross County are going for a 4-2-3-1, and Dundee United are going for a 3-4-2-1. So there we go. That's the starting 11s and formations for you. And let's get into the chat before the game start. Joanne says, thanks, Roy. I'm glad you mentioned the weight and not the massage diesel was. Yeah, I heard of that. I did hear that. I thought that was quite funny. And Joanne's going Tottenham 3, Everton 1. Is that I think it's the evening kickoff, isn't it? I have to say I'm not really that bothered about Spurs, really. Yeah, Tottenham against Everton, a 5:30 kickoff today. So there you go. And Joanne says Celtic 4-0 against Hibs. Yeah, I can't say that I disagree with you, and I hope it will be. So yeah, the games will be kicking off in about 10 minutes. So, like I say, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be uploading the interview that I did with the Aussie Gooner. Make sure you check that out, because it honestly is. The guy is absolutely fascinating to listen to, talking about his life as a football fan, and he's huge fan of football. He really is, and his knowledge is just off the bloody scale. It really is. I was really impressed listening to him. He's a top man. He's a great mate. I love the guy to bits. And please, if you haven't done so already, go and check his channel out and subscribe to him. And also check out the main man in the chat today, Carl Walsh Gunner. He's got an absolutely brilliant channel, and the man talks with so much passion and knowledge about Arsenal Football Club, and I absolutely love it. I do. I love what he says, and he's another one who's a great mate. He's turned into a great mate since I first met him. And I met him because of a certain Del Boy Gunner, absolute top man. Apparently he was playing Zoom bingo yesterday. So if you're watching Del Boy, eyes down for a full house, mate. Eyes down for a full house. And Bargas just popped into the chat. Hey, Warren, what's the big game for the day? A typical Saturday, normally 4 games at once. Yeah, we've got 4 games today. We've got, let me put the games up, actually. That's a good idea. I'll put the games up. Whoa, here we go. So there's the games that we've got today. We've got Fulham against Bournemouth, Wolves against Notts Forest, Celtic against Hibs, and Ross County against Dundee United. But we'll also be keeping an eye on all the other games that are kicking off today. So should be an interesting afternoon, hopefully. So I'll try and keep you up to date with what's going on. And please, all of you, if you see something happen and I haven't said it, please throw it in the chat as well. That would be fantastic. So, yeah, these are the games. It's Fulham against Bournemouth, Wolves against Nottingham Forest in the English Premiership, and then in the Scottish Premier League, we got Celtic against Hibernian and Ross County against Dundee United. So there you go. So what does Joanne's put her predictions in for the games that we're covering this afternoon? What does everyone else think about what's going to happen in these games? Me, personally, I agree with Joe. I think Fulham will just edge it by 2-1. Wolves and Notts Forest, I think it's going to be a draw. I'm going for a 1-1 draw in that one because Wolves are quite difficult to score against, let's say. Celtic against Hib, I can't see anything other than a comfortable victory for Celtic. I think probably 3-4-0 for Celtic. Ross County against Dundee United. I think the men from Dingwall will just edge this one by 2-1. And a few minutes ago, I promised to tell you a little story from Celtic and Hibs history. When the two clubs first started, Hibs started first. And obviously their name is Hibernian. And then later, Celtic got started. And they originally were called Glasgow Hibernian. And they played each other in a friendly. And the Hibs fans were so incensed with the fact that Celtic were, using their name. There was almost a full-scale riot. And Celtic were forced to change their name from Glasgow Hibernian to Glasgow Celtic. So that's why Celtic are called Glasgow Celtic. Because originally they were called Glasgow Hibernian, apparently. And both sides have links to Ireland. That's why in the club crest you can see symbology, like symbols from Ireland, like in Celtic's is a 4-leaf clover, and in Hibs thing you can see like a harp and so on and so forth. And I'm not sure about Hibs, but I will be looking into their history when I start doing my Scotland's greatest football team, the Scotland's most successful football team, like I did with the English one. But Celtic, when they were set up to support poor Irish immigrants who'd come into Glasgow, and it was all the money that they raised was used as charity for the charity work of the club. So the club was just set up basically to provide services to the Irish community in Glasgow, to support them and help them, with living their lives and all the rest of it. So that's why there's such a strong connection between Glasgow Celtic and Ireland. So yeah, and the club was set up by a Catholic priest, I believe, by the name of Brother Wolfred. Brother Wolfred. So yeah, there you go. I thought I'd give you a little bit of history there. And we're about 4 minutes away from kickoff now. So let's see if there's any news in here. So let's see if we can get it to show. So, no. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to go back here. What is going on with this mouse? I keep losing the mouse, people. Right, here we go. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to do that. And do that. And we're going to do... great. That's just what I wanted. Right, so I'm going to, in here, share screens, Chrome tabs, this one, share, and yeah, so we'll leave it on the Premier League just for now, but we'll be keeping a close eye on both leagues, obviously. Unfortunately, it's not possible to see the live commentary in one window, so I'll have to keep switching between the two, which is a bit of a pain in the bum, to be quite honest, but still, never mind, as they say. So let's try and see if... here we go. That's what I was looking for. So Leicester boss Brendan Rodgers speaking to the Match of the Day, right? This is what he said after the draw with Crystal Palace. He said, the players put in a good performance, strong defensively and limited a good Palace team. We had some really good moments to get into the final third and lacked the final pass or a bit of luck. Overall, the performance was good. We have played well to 60 minutes and then found ways to lose. You have to defend well to win, and this season I always felt we would have to be patient after our market in the summer. You can see the players gaining confidence, but in that final third, we need a bit more luck. On some boos at the end, we have set the standards with 2 5th and 8th, but we were unable to improve in the market, so we have to knuckle down with what we have. I totally respect our supporters, and when you are suffering, there will always be that, i.e. the booing. My dedication is that we stay strong, and gradually I hope we can pull away. It's my responsibility, and I accept that. See, that's quite interesting for me, because a few times in there, he's talking about the market during the summer wasn't great and they didn't get what he wanted. So sounds like he was a bit annoyed. So here we go. What the hell is happening here? So what is this guy? Watch live football free. Okay, mate. Thanks very much. You don't need to spam the chat, mate. All right. So please stop doing that. Yeah. Thank you very much. I could, if you could be so kind as to stop doing that, I'd be really grateful. But welcome, thanks very much for joining the chat. But yeah, you don't have to spam the chat. Put it in once, and that's fine. So I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. If he does it again, he'll be getting blocked. So and tomorrow's predictions, please, Warren. Okay, yeah, no problem. I'll do that. Let's have a quick look at the predictions for tomorrow. So scores and fixtures. So let's look. So tomorrow we have Aston Villa against Chelsea. I'm going for a 2-0 win for Chelsea with that one. Leeds against Arsenal. I'm going Leeds 0, Arsenal 3. Manchester United against Newcastle. I'm going with a 2-2 draw, I think, for that one. Southampton against West Ham. I'm going for West Ham to win that by 1-0. And then Liverpool against Man City. I'm going with Manchester City to win that by 2-1. Although I don't think that Manchester City are going to have it easy in that game. I think Liverpool are on their way back. They did cause us a few problems in that game last weekend, although we held strong and managed to win the game. But there were periods in the game when they were on top as well. But, you know, we held firm and we won. But I think they're on the way back. I mean, that second half performance against Rangers the other night was just ridiculous. Scoring 6 goals in one half. How that man is still in a job, I just do not know. I really don't. Gio Van Bronckhorst, you're a very lucky boy, is all I can say. He was a good player for Arsenal, but I'm not really sure that he's cut out to be a good manager. Sorry, but that's just my opinion about it. And so the Fulham and Bournemouth games have both kicked off. They're both 0-0 at the moment. So let's carry on. And Joanne also said, I'm going for Aston Villa 0, Lee Gunner 4. Okay, I know what you mean. And Joanne says, get some cheese out. If you keep losing the mouse, it might tempt it out. Very true. Joanne, you're so funny. And Joanne's going Leeds 1, Arsenal 4. Yeah, I can't say I disagree with you, mate. Manchester United 2, Newcastle 3. I can't see Newcastle winning at Old Trafford. We never know, though. They might do, but I reckon that's going to be a draw because Newcastle are a bit like they're a bit draw specialists, aren't they, this season? But yeah, fair play to you. It wouldn't surprise. Let's put it this way: it wouldn't surprise me if they did win, but I can see it ending up in a draw. And there's been a goal already. Wow. There's been a goal already. So it's time. It's only a few minutes gone and there's been a goal already. And it's come at Fulham. And it's Fulham 0, Bournemouth 1. The goal was scored by Solanke in the 2nd minute. And an assist from Billing. So let's see if we can find out about the goal. So here we go. Goal, Fulham 0, Bournemouth 1. Dominic Solanke had a right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the top left corner, and it was assisted by Philip Billing. So there you go. Fulham 0, Bournemouth 1. Wow. Good start there for Bournemouth at Craven Cottage. Let's see what it says on my little app about that goal. Hold on a sec. Let's see what it says. Yeah, no, it just says the goal was scored in the 2nd minute by Solanke. So there you have it. And the games in Scotland are currently 0-0. Celtic against Hibs and Ross County against Dundee United. So it's the only game out of our 4 that has goals at the moment is Fulham against Bournemouth. We'll keep a careful eye on that and see what happens. So, yeah, let's see how that progresses anyway. So let's go back and let's get the commentary thing up. Live updates for the Premier League action. Okay, so Wolves 0, Notts Forest 0. Ruben Neves plays a long ball forward for Matthias Nunes to give chase. He gets there first, shrugs off his opponent and wins a corner. Wolves 0, Notts Forest 0. Hal Martinho's corner is head away by Ryan Yates at the near post before Harry Tolo hoofs it clear. Wolves will build again from the back. So there, and there's more action. What's going on here? Fulham 0, Bournemouth 1. Fulham haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their last 8 Premier League games. Well, I didn't know that. It's a 50th goal in English League football for Dominic Solanke, having scored in both of Bournemouth's meeting with Fulham in the Championship last season. Both of those games ended in a 1-1 draw. So I wonder if that's going to happen today, guys. You never know. Wolves 0, Notts Forest 0. Wolves have started on the front foot at Molineux as the rain continues to fall down heavily. Adama Traore has plenty of the ball, but the latest diagonal pass over to Ryan Ait-Nouri bounces out for a goal kick. So yeah, it sounds like it's been a bit of an exciting start there in our games. Joanne says Southampton 0, West Ham 2, and Liverpool 4, Manchester City 3. Yeah, that would be a really... sounds like you think it's going to be a really exciting game. Now, this clown is back again. I asked you before nicely not to do that. So, I'm sorry, mate, but I'm not putting up with that. So we're going to block you, I'm afraid. And block this one as well. I asked you not to spam the chat, but you decided to do it anyway. So thank you for your views and good luck. I hope you have a nice life and all the rest of it. But, you know, it's just fucking bang out of order. Liverpool 4, Manchester City 3. Yeah, big, great game if it is. Definitely be an exciting one, but let's see what happens, Joe. And let's go back and see what's going on. Let's go up to Scotland now and see what's going on there. And all the games in Scotland in the 3 o'clock kickoffs are currently goalless. It's Celtic 0, Hibernian 0, Livingston 0, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 0, Dundee United 0, and St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 0. So let's let's just have a quick look at. I'm just going to share the screen so you can see what I'm looking at for the Scottish Premier League, Scottish Premiership. And we're going to have a look at the Celtic game and the match stats for that one. Okay, so let's have a look. So far, Celtic have had 64% possession. They've had 3 shots, 2 of which have been on target, and they've won 1 corner. Hibs, on the other hand, have had no shots, so they haven't had any attempts on target. They've had no corners, and the foul count is 2-0 to Hibs. So that's unsurprising, really. And yes, so that's the Celtic Hibs game. Let's go and have up to Dingwall and see what's going on there. 9 minutes gone in that game, and the match stats for that one. Ross County have had 56% possession. They've had 1 shot, and Dundee United have had none. And neither side has had a shot on target. There's been no corners, and the foul count is 1 apiece. So it sounds like it's not been the most exciting start to the game there. But yeah, let's see what happens. Because it might heat up if there's a goal. But I guess that's probably a bit unsurprising, really, given that there's quite a lot at stake. They're both bottom of the table on exactly the same points, with only goals scored separating them by the looks of it. So let's go back to the English Premier League and see what's going on there. So stop sharing that and share the screen. Chrome tab, Premier League, share, and let's see what happens now. Right, so former Wolves forward Morgan Gibbs-White swings a deep corner in for Forest, but Scott McKenna's header is over the bar. Fulham 0, Bournemouth 1. Andreas Pereira knocks a free kick short as Fulham look to extend their stay in the Bournemouth heart, but the Cherries are fighting hard in defence and keep the hosts at bay. So there you go. It's still Fulham 0, Bournemouth 1. 11 minutes gone there. See what is going on with this mouse today. What's it doing now? Right, okay. So let's go to Craven Cottage and look at the match stats for that game. So currently, Fulham have had 73% possession. Obviously, Bournemouth have had 27. Fulham have had 2 shots. Bournemouth have had 1. Fulham have had no shots on target, and Bournemouth have had 1. The corner count is 1-0 in favour of Fulham, and there's been 2 fouls apiece. Okay, so let's go up to Molineux now and see what's been going on there. The BBC reporter said that Wolves were on the front foot, so let's see what the match stats are saying. So currently, Wolves have 69% possession, and Forest have had 31%. It's 1 shot apiece, and neither side had a shot on target. There's been 2 corners for Wolves and 1 for Forest, and the foul count is 2-0 in favour of Wolves. So there you go. Yeah, I really need to stop saying that because I say it way too much. So looks like there may have been a goal. So hold on just a sec because I want to see if that's the case. Yeah, there's been a goal in Scotland. So we're going to go and check that out. Excuse me. Right, so let's go and see where that is. And it's come at Parkhead, and it was scored by Forest in the 9th minute, and it was assisted by Haksabanovic. Let's see how that goal went in. So Celtic 1, Hibs 0. James Forrest, Celtic, takes a right-footed shot from very close range to the bottom left corner, and that was assisted by Said Haksabanovic with a cross. So there you go, Celtic 1-0 up against Hibs already in only the 9th minute. So it might be a very difficult afternoon for Hibs today. Celtic 1-0 up already. So there you go. Let's see. So any other goals in the Scottish Premier League? No, there's not. The Scottish Premiership, it's Celtic 1, Hibs 0, 15 minutes gone there. Livingston 0, St Johnstone 0, 15 minutes gone there. Ross County 0, Dundee United 0, 16 minutes gone there. And it's St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 0, 15 minutes gone there. So let's stop sharing that and let's go back here and go back to this one. So it's still 17 minutes gone in the 2 English Premier League games that we're following today. It's still Fulham 0, Bournemouth 1, and it's Wolves 0, Nottingham Forest 0. So let's see if there's been any substitutions or anything like that at Molineux, and we'll also have a look, see who's playing well and who's not. Let's see. No substitutions for Wolves. Notts Forest. I wouldn't expect there to be this early in the game, but you never know. So let's have a look at the ratings from the BBC website. These are put in, for those who don't know, these are put in, I believe, by people looking at the games through the BBC website. Not watching the games, but following the games through the BBC website. And Wolves, their best player according to this at the moment, Ruben Neves is on 5.15. Adama Traore's on 5.26. But the best player for Wolves so far, according to the BBC website, is Diego Costa with 6.11. So let's see what it's saying for Nottingham Forest. So their ratings are quite significantly higher, to be honest. see. So, yeah, Notts Forest's best player at the moment is Johnston with a rating of 7.79. And the next biggest one is Coyote with a rating of 7.34. Yeah, that's interesting. And here he is, the main man himself, Del Boy Gunner TV. What's the crack? What's the bleeding story, Warren? Mate, Celtic are 1-0 up already. James Forrest scored in the 9th minute. So fantastic stuff there at Parkhead. And did you win anything last night with the bingo, mate? That's what I want to know. Did you win any money? Because I remember when I was a kid, whenever we went on holiday, like, you know, we'd go to these like caravan parks when I was a kid. My parents used to take us there, and in the evening the caravan park would like put on entertainment in the social club thing for the caravan site, and there would always be bingo going on. I used to love it, I have to say. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I love a good game of bingo, man. I really do. But anyway, how are you? Please, everyone who's not subscribed to Del Boy Gunner TV, please subscribe to Del Boy. Got excellent content. Top man, a great mate, and he does brilliant stuff. And Del Boy says, no, fuck off. no luck at all, mate. Oh, mate, never mind. But yeah, keep going. You never know. You'll strike it lucky. Just keep your eyes down for the full house, as they say. I was watching that. The reason I know, you probably work this out. I was watching that stream that Niall was doing with his sidekick. It was absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I loved every minute of it. And I've been doing some work this morning on that thing I was talking to you about. I don't really want to say too much about it in the chat, but that, you know, that thing that we were talking about the Irish football team. Hopefully that'll give you enough clues. It's quite interesting, actually. I just need to do a little bit more, and then when I've done, I'm going to send it out to you and to Kyle, and see if we can get maybe one other person to come on. All I want to do for that is I just want to sit there and just host a thing, and I'll let you guys have a debate, and I'll just keep throwing up stuff and whatnot. But yeah, I'll talk to you about that later. Joanne says, hello, Del Boy. Yeah, Del, it's great to have you in the chat, man. Thanks ever so much. So let's get back to the matches. And there's been another goal in the Premier League. And it's come at Craven Cottage. And here we go, people. So let's pull that up. There we go. What am I doing? Yeah, there we go. It's Fulham 1, Bournemouth 1 now. 23 minutes gone at Craven Cottage. And Diop has scored for Fulham. And that goal was assisted by Pereira in the 22nd minute. Well, it has to be, wouldn't it? If the goal scored in the 22nd minute, he wouldn't have done it assisted in the 18th minute, would he? Honestly, Warren, unreal. Absolute madness. Anyway, goal. The goal was Fulham 1, Bournemouth 1. Issa Diop Fulham with an attempt from very close range to the centre of goal, and it was assisted by Andres Pereira with a cross following a corner. So there you go. So it's Fulham 1, Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0, Notts Forest 0. And earlier today, it ended up Leicester City 0, Crystal Palace 0. So let's stop sharing that and let's stop sharing that and go up to Scotland, because I believe there's been an incident in one of our games up Scotland. And there you have it. Let's start sharing the screen. Chrome tab. So it's now Celtic 3, Hibernian 0. So there's been 2 goals while we're so let's look at that. So Celtic 3, Hibernian 0. First, the second goal came from Giamakis in the 18th minute. That goal was assisted by Bernabei. And then the third goal was a second goal for James Forrest in the 24th minute. So after 25 minutes at Parkhead, it's Celtic 3, Hibernian 0. So let's see if we can find out about those goals and how they went in. So the first goal, Celtic 2, Hibernian 0. Georgios Giamakis had a right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the top left corner, and that was assisted by Alexander Bernabei with a cross. And then the third goal in the 24th minute, Celtic 3, Hibernian 0. James Forrest took a right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the bottom left corner. Celtic now firmly in control. It would be, and the wheels really would have to come off quite dramatically for them to lose this game. I think now, realistically, it's just a case of how many they're going to get. So Celtic 3, Hibernian 0 after 26 minutes. The other games in the Scottish Premiership, it's Livingston 0, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 0, Dundee United 0, and last but not least, it's St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 0. So there you have it. Celtic in complete control. Let's go and check out the other games that we're covering in England and see what's going on there. 25 minutes gone at Craven Cottage, and it's Fulham 1, Bournemouth 1. And Molineux in the 27th minute, it's Wolves 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Let's go back to the chat because there's a comment thrown into the chat. And Delboy says, "Hi, Joe." And Delboy's going again. So I was working down in cold Walsh country this morning. I got out safely. Well, that's good to hear, mate, because it's not the safest places to be wandering around in, that's for sure. After what Carl told me. Yeah, I think you'd need Carl with you to be a bodyguard, I think, mate. Jeez, sounds a bit wild and rough and ready down there, mate. So fair play to you. Big up the people from where Carl's from. Absolutely top people. The ones that I've met anyway. So fair play. And yeah. Let's go back and I hope that you had your work down there was successful, Del Boy. So what's your thoughts, Del Boy, about the games tomorrow? What's your predictions? Let me see. And there's been another goal at Craven Cottage. Before we get Del Boy's thoughts about the games tomorrow, there's been another goal at Craven Cottage. It's now Fulham 1, Bournemouth 2. The goal has been scored by is it Lerma in the 29th minute, and it was assisted by Solanke. So it's time for this. So let's see how the goal was scored. That'd be interesting. So if we scroll down and we can find out about how the goal was scored. Yeah, so here we are. Goal, Fulham 1, Bournemouth 2. Jefferson Lerma from Bournemouth. Right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the bottom right corner, assisted by Dominic Solanke. Fantastic. Well, if you're a Bournemouth fan, it must be. Yeah, so looks like Solanke's had a good afternoon. He scored in the 2nd minute and he's assisted in the 29th. So, yeah, superb for him. Not so good for Fulham, though. There you go. Poor Bernd Leno. He's having a busy afternoon by the sounds of it. And we've got another chat. I'm confident, Warren. I think first half will be tight, but Arsenal will have enough in the tank to win. Yeah, I'm going for a 3-0 Arsenal win. Del Boy, have you got anything coming up on your channel in the next couple of days you want to tell everyone about? I've got last night I recorded an interview with Aussie Gooner. I'm going to be premiering it tomorrow morning, maybe between about 10 and 11, I think. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, mate. I really am. I think it's going to be fantastic because we had a great chat last night when we recorded it. And it was really interesting listening to him talk about his experiences of being a football fan in Australia. Yeah, it was fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I loved every minute of it. And I think Aussie enjoyed it as well. So, yeah, everyone, make sure you check that out. And Del Boy, have you got anything coming up on your channel that you want to promote? If so, just throw it in the chat, man. Make sure that I read it out and stuff. So let's do that. That's better. Yeah. What about, let me throw the other games up so you can tell us about your thoughts about those. And anyone else in the chat who wants to get involved with this as well, please throw your predictions in for the games tomorrow. So we've got Aston Villa against Chelsea, Leeds against Arsenal, Manchester United against Newcastle United, Southampton against West Ham United. All those games are 2 o'clock kickoffs. And then at 4:30, we got Liverpool against Manchester City. So, Del Boy, the question for you, my friend, is what do you think is going to happen in those games? Be interested to see what you think. So just a quick score update from Scotland. The scores there currently, with just over half an hour gone in all 4 games. It's still Celtic 3, Hibernian 0, Livingston 0, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 0, Dundee United 0, St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 0. And let's go back and see what is happening. And the chat. And Del Boy says, I'm doing a fan reaction calling show after the Leeds game tomorrow. Lovely, jubbly. Is it all right for me to jump in, mate, and have my say after the game tomorrow? Yeah, so listen, guys, make sure that tomorrow, after the game's finished, that you go over to Del Boy Gunner's Del Boy Gunner TV and join in the chat. You don't have to put your camera on. If you don't want to have your face on camera, that's absolutely fine. But please come over and join Del Boy. He loves hearing from fans about the game. So that will be tomorrow. The game tomorrow kicks off at, I think it's 2:00 tomorrow, isn't it? Let me just see, and I'll try and... What time do you reckon you're going to do it, Del Boy? Yes, 2:00. So second half kicks off at 3. That'll mean it'll finish about 3:45. Yes, probably about 4:00, I'd imagine. And Del Boy's throwing in some scores. Villa 0, Chelsea 2, and Leeds 1, Arsenal 3, United 2, Newcastle 2. Yeah, X stuff, mate. I'm pretty much with you in all of those, to be honest. Southampton 1, West Ham 1. Yeah, that's what I think as well. Yeah, so make sure that tomorrow, keep your eyes open for that, because it's always a good laugh when Del Boy does those phone-in shows. You know, and the good thing is you don't have to put your camera on. If you don't want to have your face on camera, you don't have to. Just come in, and if you don't want to have your voice heard either, just put comments in the chat. That's fine too. But come over and join in. It's great fun, and we'll see what happens. And Del Boy's going Liverpool 2, Manchester City 1. Yeah, I hope so, mate. I do. I really do, because we could do with putting a bit of daylight between them and us, and Liverpool could help us for that. And I'm sure that Niall will be absolutely delighted if Liverpool get a win tomorrow. Let's see what happens. It's going to be an interesting afternoon tomorrow, that's for sure. So it's still in the English Premier League. It's still Fulham 1, AFC Bournemouth 2, 36 minutes gone at Craven Cottage. And it's Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Nottingham Forest 0, 36 minutes gone there on Molyneux. And Del Boy Gunner TV's put another comment in the chat. Yes, Warren, you're more than welcome to come and join the stream. I'll be live 10 minutes after the match. Please come along. Yeah, of course I will. 100%, mate. That's the reason I ask, because I want to make sure that I support you, bro. You're a top man and a great mate. I'm always going to support everything that you do, honestly. So I'm sure it will be really, really exciting. Fantastic afternoon's entertainment after the match is finished. I'm sure Manny will be there. and hopefully Aussie Gooner will drop in as well, and Carl Walsh and all the usual suspects. Yeah, I think it'd be great. And Delboy says, thanks, Warren, top man. You're absolutely welcome, mate. An absolute pleasure, my man. So, let's see what is going on. Let's see what other scores are going on, because it seems to have died a little bit of a death in these two games. Let's see if we can see what other scores we can see. So, yeah, we know about that. So, in the Championship, earlier today, it finished Luton Town 3, Queen's Park Rangers 1, Rotherham United 2, Huddersfield 1. And currently in the Championship, it's Bristol City 0, Millwall 0, Burnley 2, Swansea City 0, Cardiff City 0, Coventry City 1, Middlesbrough 0, Blackburn Rovers 2, Preston North End 0, Stoke City 0, Reading 0, West Bromwich Albion 1, Sheffield United 2, Blackpool 1, and last but not least, it's Sunderland 0, Wigan Athletic 0, and then in League One, it's Accrington Stanley 0, Derby County 2, Bolton Wanderers 0, Barnsley 0, Burton Albion 1, Morecambe 0, Cambridge United 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cheltenham Town 0, Bristol Rovers 2, Exeter City 0, Oxford United 2, Fleetwood Town 0, Shrewsbury Town 1, Ipswich Town 0, Lincoln City 1, Milton Keynes Dons 0, Plymouth Argyle 3, Port Vale 0, Forest Green Rovers 2, and last but not least, Wycombe Wanderers 0, Peterborough United 1. And then in League 2, earlier today, it finished Harrogate Town 2, Hartlepool United 1, Mansfield Town 2, Walsall 1. And so far today, the other scores in League 2 are AFC Wimbledon 0, Sutton United 1, Carlisle United 0, Doncaster Rovers 0, Crawley Town 1, Newport County 0, Gillingham 0, Stevenage 1, Leyton Orient 0, Northampton Town 0, Rochdale 1, Barrow 0, Salford City 0, Bradford City 1, Stockport County 0, Grimsby Town 2. And last but not least, it's Swindon Town 0, Colchester United 0. So that's all you're up to date with all the scores in the English Football League and Premier League. And there's been 2 goals in Scotland. So let's go and check those out. It's now Livingston 1, St Johnstone 0. And so that goal was scored by, oh my good God, Bahama Bola in the 35th minute, and it was assisted by Nuble, and that goal was scored. Let's find out how it was scored. Here we go. So Dillian Bahamabula, Livingston right-footed shot from the left side of the box to the bottom left corner, and it was assisted by Joe Clay. There. And let's have a look at the other game where there's been a goal, and that's come in the game up at Dingwall. It's Ross County 1, Dundee United 0. Callahan scored in the 39th minute for Ross County, and that goal was assisted by Puritan. So let's see how that goal went in. So Ross Callahan took a right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the top right corner, and that was assisted, like I said, by Ben Puritan. So Ross County take a great 1-0 lead for them in their battle to stay in the Premier League, Scottish Premiership. So they'll be delighted with that. If they win that game this afternoon, that'll take them up to 9th. 2 points off the relegation zone or relegation playoff zone, and Dundee United will be 2 points adrift of safety. So let's see if we can get ourselves back. So Wolves 0, Notts Forest 0. Ruben Neves is found in space on the left side outside the box, but he's crossed his slice towards the near post where Dean Henderson is stood waiting to catch it. Just lacking that final ball piece of quality for Wolves. Fulham 1, Bournemouth 2. Nice build-up play from Fulham. Can they turn it into something meaningful? Not this time. Bobby de Cordova reads Cece's strike deflected out for a corner, which is easily cleared. Fulham are on the attack again, though, as we approach the interval. Andreas Pereira's cross causes issues, but some last-ditch defending from Bournemouth protects their advantage. So Fulham still trailing by 2-1 at home. And then the referees now indicated that there's going to be 2 minutes of added time. Is there a time for a fourth goal in this first half? Possibly, says the live commentary. I'm not sure about that, mate. So let's see what else is happening. Let's have a look at the match stats for this game, because it looks like it's been a bit lively at Craven Cottage. Not our most entertaining game of the season, that's for sure, but it's been lively nonetheless. So the match stats, it's 65% possession for Fulham, 35% for Bournemouth, 10 shots for Fulham, 5 for Bournemouth, 2 shots on target for Fulham, and 4 for Bournemouth. That's interesting. For the corner count is 4-2 in favour of Fulham, and the foul count is 5-4 to Bournemouth. So that is interesting that the shots on target for Fulham, they've had 2 out of 11 shots, and Bournemouth have had 4 out of 5 on target. So that's, for me, that's quite interesting, really. Yeah. So please, guys, don't forget tomorrow. It's really important. Go and check out Del Boy Gunner's fan calling show tomorrow. He's just he's just promoting it now on Twitter. But yeah, just do a search for Del Boy, and I'm sure it's on YouTube. Let me see if he's got it up on YouTube or not. Because if he has, I'm going to stick the link in the chat. Let's see. Let's see. No. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get the link for the show and I'm going to stick it in the chat. That's what I'm going to do because I've got the ability to do that. Believe it or not, I'm able to manage to do that, which is a major miracle in itself. So let's see. Okay. No, it's not there. Del Boy's telling everyone to put a like on the video. Yeah, thank you, Del Boy. I've always forget to ask for that. So please, guys, if you haven't done it already, please put a like on the video for this show. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And make sure you go and subscribe to Del Boy's show, Del Boy's channel. He done some brilliant vlogs when he was over at the Emirates Stadium last weekend for the Liverpool game. Yeah, it was great. Really excellent interviews he did there with some of the fans. And so let's go back to the chat. And Taib's in, the main man. And he says, hi, Warren. Hi, Taib. I hope you're good, mate. Lovely to see you. And he says, hi, Del Boy. And Del Boy says, hi, Taib. And Taib says, what's he talking about? Gabriel Jesus. And he's saying that he's a doubt for tomorrow's game. Oh, no. So that means we're going to have Eddie playing up front then, possibly. I bloody hope that doesn't happen. Warren, you've got magical powers, mate. Long may it stay with you. Why have I got magical powers? What have I done? I want to see some of your really off-key jokes, Ty. That's what I'd absolutely love to see that, mate. But yeah, that game. Where did you hear that about Gabriel Jesus, Taib? Or are you just trying to stir up a bit of controversy in the chat? I'll be interested to know, to be frank. Let me just close that. Hold on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put... Right. What I'm going to do, guys... Where are we? Listen, all right. Here we go. That's the link. I've just put the link for Del Boy's channel in the chat. So please, people, make sure that you please make sure that you go and subscribe to Del Boy's channel. I'm honestly, the fella is an absolute top man, and on content is absolutely superb. And there you go. So yeah, we were. Let's go back and see how these games are getting on. So it's half time in both the English Premier League games. It's Fulham 1, Bournemouth 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Nottingham Forest 0. What it means is at the moment, Bournemouth are now up to 6th. And after the trouncing they took at Anfield, where they lost 9-0 at the beginning of the season, that is an unbelievable turnaround. It really is. Fair play to them. And what else? Any changes there? Newcastle are down a place, Brighton are down a place, and so are Brentford and Wolves and Notts Forest have jumped off and moved up to 19th, and Leicester down bottom of the table again. So that's the Premier League table. So let's see the halftime scores in Scotland. So the halftime scores in Scotland are: it's Celtic 3, Hibernian 0, Livingston 1, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 1, Dundee United 0, and it's St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 0. So there you go. Celtic in complete and utter control. It's hard to say how they're going to lose that game now, to be honest. I just can't see it happening. I have to be honest. So halftime 0, Wolves 0, Notts Forest 0. Both teams still in the relegation zone. If it stays like this, but a point would move Forest off the bottom of the table, with Leicester dropping down to the bottom. Anita Asante, who's a former England defender, he's on final score, is saying for Wolves it's a case of execution and the right decisions being made in and around that 18-yard box and that spaces so Diego Costa can run onto those crosses. But for Nottingham Forest, they're going to go in at half-time and think we need to do better in possession, secure the ball better, and when they go forward, just try and hit someone to secure possession and get their numbers up. Yeah, that makes sense. Fulham 1, Bournemouth 2, half-time at Craven Cottage. Bournemouth are unbeaten in the last 41 Premier League matches when leading at half-time, winning 32 of those games. That run stretches back to a defeat against West Ham in January 2016. Gary O'Neill's side could go on a sixth match unbeaten run today. That's 9-0 losses. Gary O'Neill's side could go on a sixth match unbeaten today since that 9-0 loss against Liverpool. Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. Since that hammering that they took at Liverpool, they turned their season around and they've done really well. And look at the Premier League table, where they are now in the table. It's incredible. They They're up to 6th in the table on 15 points. If you take the 9-0 hammering out of it, they've got about a -2 or -3 goal difference. But yeah, they got spanked at Liverpool, and ever since then, it's gone quite well for them, really. So let's Tybes in the chat. Bloody hell, Warren. I thought it was almost 5. Laugh out loud. What are you talking about, Tybe? What was almost 5? I don't understand. What are you talking about, mate? What was almost 5? Please tell me. I'm at a loss to know what you're going on about, mate. Sorry. So let's go back to the matches and see what is happening. It's not what I'm looking for. Let's just go back a step. See if it's gone. No, still not. I'm looking for. I don't think they're doing text commentary. Let's see if I can get it through this one. Or live updates even. No, it doesn't look like they are. It's a bit disappointing, but still. So the Rugby League World Cup starts today, and England are 24-6 up against Samoa. It was 18-6 at half time. Woolsby and Young got tries for England, and there were 2 conversions for Mackinson and a penalty from Mackinson as well, and a try from Tago and conversion from Christian for Samoa. And yeah, good win so far by the looks of it for England. Taib's in the chat, and he's saying, Del Boy, what's the crack, mate? Laugh out loud. And there he is, the main man himself, Tony. Afternoon, Warren. Hi, mate. How you doing? Nice to see you. How's that bleeding clown Terry doing? Have you seen him lately? Tony, hi, mate. And Tony Blackwell says, hi, Taib. How are we, fella? And Taib says, Warren, I think the Brighton manager looks like Del Boy. I haven't seen this new Brighton manager, I have to say. So, Del Boy Gunner, now taken over from Lee Gunner at Brighton and Hove Albion. So there you go, Del Boy. If you need an assistant, mate, give me a call, mate, and I'll come down and join you. Taib says, I'm good, Tony. How are you? Anyway, how are you, Tony? How's things? Are you at work, mate? I hope you're not having to work too hard, Tony. And just for you, not because there's been any goals, but this is especially for Mr. Blackwell. There you go. And let's go back and see what the hell is going on. Scores and fixtures in the Rugby League. There's another game today in the Rugby League World Cup, and it's in Pool B, and Australia are taking on Fiji. And then tomorrow, we have got Scotland against Italy, Jamaica against Ireland, and New Zealand against Lebanon. Wow. I might try and watch some of those games, to be fair, tomorrow. And then on Monday, France against Greece. Tuesday, Tonga against Papua New Guinea. And then Wednesday, you got Wales against the Cook Islands. And Thursday, no, there you go. I remember years ago, I went with a mate of mine who was an Aussie. No, it wasn't Aussie Gooner. We went to Twickenham to see England play Australia in the Rugby League World Cup. The Aussies absolutely... No, it wasn't against England. Was it England? Or was it Great Britain? No, it was the World Cup and it was against England and it was at Twickenham. And the Aussies absolutely destroy England. And like after about... The Aussies had scored like 4 tries in like the first 15 minutes or something crazy like that. It was absolute pandemonium. It really was. And the ground was almost full up with Aussies, and my mate, like being a proud Aussie that he was absolutely lapping it up. And he's going to me, yeah, you boys going to turn up in a minute or what? What's going on? He really rubbed it in. So let's go back to the chat. Tony says, here we go. Where are we? Tony said, I'm good for him. Thank you. Yeah, he's good as gold. He's good for... We were away together a couple of weeks back in Vegas. He's always optimistic about his manager. Mate, that is never going to change. It ain't. He's never, ever going to change. No matter, even if like Arteta had Arsenal sat rock bottom of the Premier League, no goals, no wins, no points, he would still say, yeah, he's the right man for the job. He would. And even if they got relegated, I'd still reckon he'd back him. Tony says, I'm at home. Oh, fair play, mate. Put your feet up, have a nice beer, all the rest of it. Chill out, mate. And Delboy Gunner says, Ty, I'm going to check him out now. You know, Delboy. Hi, Tony, says Delboy. And Tony Blackwell, hi, Delboy, how's things? And Delboy says, all good, Tony, thanks. And Delboy says, Ty, I am the bleeding image of him. Oh, dear. Maybe it is you, mate. And Gracie-Mae says, big up. Hi, Gracie. Nice to see you. Congratulations on hitting 1,000 subs. I'm really, really, absolutely delighted. Honestly, I really am. Couldn't happen to a nicer person. And fair play to you. And all that hard work's paid off. Just keep going. Need now go for the 2K and on and onwards and upwards, mate. So fair play to you. Taib says, Warren, what's the most common name for girl peanuts? Michelle, sorry, mate, those jokes are absolute quality. What's the most common name for girl peanuts? Michelle, superb stuff. Tony says, big up, Gracie-Mae. Yeah, absolutely, superb. I'm really happy for you, Gracie. Well done. Gracie-Mae says, thank you, Ron. No, I'm absolutely delighted. I couldn't be happier, honestly. Superb stuff. Tony says, Warren, did I show Terry some black? I did show Terry some black suits ready for the day his manager goes. For some reason, he wasn't impressed. And what did he write me? What happened when you put Arteta's face on the Christmas turkey that day? I'd love to have seen that. Ty Hussain says, Gracie, how you doing, sis? Watch Football Live. Oh, here we go. Mate, you can put comments in, but please do not spam the chat like you were doing before, all right? Otherwise, I will block this one as well. And Tony Blackwell, well done, Gracie. Yeah, it's fantastic. Absolutely superb. Gracie-Mae, I'm good. Currently just relaxing. Finished studying, so the boredom has kicked in. What's it? Finish. So it's what, October? So what are you doing a baccalaureate, or are you doing are you still doing your A levels, Gracie, or what's going on? Are you have you had to start looking into UCAS and all that sort of carry on? Yeah, because years and years ago, I used to work as a careers advisor, and I remember, like, when it was time for university applications and whatnot, and UCAS, it used to get really stressful for the poor students. It was an absolute nightmare. So if that's what's going on, I hope that you're okay and that you're doing all right. And please make sure you get appropriate support from the career service at school so they help you make the right choices and whatnot. Yeah. And what did the nut chasing another nut say? I'm going to catch you. Tired, man. That's absolute quality. Mate, honestly, I'm not joking. You should do a stand-up show. You should, because it would be absolutely hilarious. Tony Blackwell, penalty awarded to Fulham. There you go. Let's see. Let's go and check it out. So the second half's just started, and it's been a goal. Mitrovic has put it away. Let's find out all about that. But before we do that, so the Warrens Team Talk scoreboard, flash it up. It's a goal at Craven Cottage. It's Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2, and a penalty from Mitrovic in the 52nd minute. So let's see what happened with the penalty. Thank you, Tony, for bringing that to my attention, mate. So a penalty was conceded by Jefferson Lerma, Bournemouth, after a foul in the penalty area. And Alexander Mitrovic drew the foul. And then Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2, Alexander Mitrovic converts the penalty with a right-footed shot to the bottom right corner. So they've drawn level. It's 2-2 now at Craven Cottage. And there's been a goal at you. Another penalty as well. My word. It's getting a bit tasty now, and 2 penalties in a couple of minutes. So let's go and find out about that penalty at Molineux. So let's go up to Molineux and find out what happened there. And so a penalty was conceded by Harry Toffolo. I love that name, Harry Toffolo. What a fantastic name. Notts Forest with a handball in the penalty area. It went to VAR and a penalty was awarded to Wolves. And goal, Wolves 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Ruben Neves of Wolves converts the penalty with a right-footed shot to the bottom left corner. So Wolves 1-0 up at home to Nottingham Forest. So that goal has put Nottingham Forest back to the bottom of the table and lifts Leicester off the bottom. Wolves are now out of the bottom three if it stays like that. So currently in the Premier League now, 55 minutes gone. It's Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2, Wolves 1, Nottingham Forest 0. In our two games in Scotland, let's see what's going on there. It's Celtic 3, Hibernian 1, Livingston 1, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 1, Dundee United 0. So there's been a goal at Parkhead, but it's gone to Hibs. Right, sorry guys. There was a bit of an internet issue there. The whole thing just kicked me out and crashed. Honestly, it's coming a bit of a nightmare, to be frank. So yeah, let's see if we can get this back up, because there's been a few goals while I've been booted out. So there was a goal at Parkhead, but I think there's been another one now as well. So let's do this. Let's share screen, Chrome tab. Let's go there. So here we go. Let's see what's happening. Now, on my app, it's saying that James Forrest has got another goal. So if that's true, he's now, it's true. It's Celtic 4, Hibernian 1, which means that James Forrest has now got a hat-trick. He scored his third goal in the 58th minute, and that was assisted by Moo. And I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at the name, Moo. That's brilliant. And the goal for Hibs was scored 2 minutes before that. That was scored by Johan in the 56th minute and assisted by Boyle. So let's see how those goals were scored. So the Hibs goal, Ali Yohan of Hibernian had a right-footed shot from the right side of the box to the bottom right corner, assisted by Martin Boyle. And then Celtic replied almost immediately to restore their 3-goal lead. James Forrest had a right-footed shot from the right side of the box to the bottom left corner, and that was assisted by Aaron Moo. That means that now Craig Forrest has now got a hat-trick. So Celtic 4-1 up at home to Hibernian. It's Livingston 1, St Johnstone 0. It's just over an hour gone in all of these games. And it's Ross County 1, Dundee United 1. So Dundee United have now equal. So let's find out about their goal up at Dingwall. So let's see how that goal went in and let's see what happened. So goal, Tony Watts from Dundee United, left-footed shot from very close range to the centre of the goal, assisted by Glenn Middleton. Makes it Ross County 1, Dundee United 1. Very, very tight game by the sounds of it. Let's see if we can see the match stats for that one. That would be quite interesting if we can see that. Okay, so possession stats. Ross County have had 42% possession. Dundee United 58. Ross County have had 4 shots. Dundee United 12. Ross County have had 1 shot on target. Dundee United have had 3. The corner count is 9-2 in favour of Dundee United, and it's 5-4 for the foul count, and that's in favour of Ross County. So sounds like, looking at those stats, that potentially Dundee United might be on top in that game. So there you go. Let's get back down into the English Premier League and see what's going on there. So in the English Premier League, with just over an hour gone, it's Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Earlier today, it finished Leicester City 0, Crystal Palace 0. And then this evening, Tottenham Hotspur are playing at home against Everton. So that should be an interesting game. So, Tony Blackwell says Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2. Gracie-Mae finished studying for the day, only just revision. Yes, I finished my international baccalaureate. So 2 A-levels and a BTEC. I'm not planning to go to university. I'm joining the army next year as a musician. That's right. You said that before. Sorry, Gracie. Yeah, good career choice as well. Because the training you'll get in the army will be second to none. Well, it always used to be like that. Whether it's like that now, I don't know, but I don't expect it has changed. Tony said, well said, Warren. I finish in May. Fair play, Gracie. Enjoy your studying, mate, because I have to say it was the best time of my life. It really was. Tony says Taib on form today. Yeah, he is. Taib, man, you are absolutely hilarious. Honestly, you need to think about doing a comedy routine because you. I think you're funny. I really do. I think you're a very, very funny, funny man. You really are. I absolutely love it. Tony says, and thank you for the fireworks, Warren. Mate, you're welcome. It's an absolute pleasure. I know how much you love those fireworks. Tive says, Warren, I bet you can't guess who the Blackburn manager is. Laugh out loud. John Dale Thomason. Does that ring any bells? Laugh out loud. Yes, it does. I remember him. And Tive says, Tony, it's Warren's fault. Laugh out loud. Why is it my fault? He'd laugh out loud, says Tony. And Del Boy Gunner, Warren's fireworks are flat out now. I hope you don't run out of them, Warren. Yeah, mate, it's a bit of an issue. You know, they're not the cheapest things in the world to keep stocked up with, I can tell you. Ty Hussain says, Del Boy Gunner, go spend time with your twin brothers. Laugh out loud. Oh, dear. Del Boy Gunner, laughing emojis. And Tony said, Del Boy and the neighbours must love Warren setting up all those fireworks. And then he does the same in November. Yeah, it won't be long now, will it? Bonfire night and whatnot. But people seem to set them off all the bloody time now. Well, they do round here anyway. They don't seem to need, you know, an excuse like bonfire night or whatnot. And Gracie says, oh, no. Tony Blackwell says, oops, where's he gone? Yeah, no, it was like, sorry, that was stupid internet. 3, 2, 1, he's back in the room. Yeah, exactly. 3, 2, 1. Anyone remember that? Gracie, I think you're probably too young to remember back, but look it up on YouTube. There's a game show on British TV called 3, 2, 1, a Dusty Bin. There was a character called Dusty Bin. It was absolute madness, that show. Del Boy Gunner TV, yes, Tony. And Tony Blackwell, Warren, does that Harry Toffolo play that piano behind you? Yes, mate, he does. He comes out with a tuxedo on and sits there tickling the ivories and all the rest of it. Top man. Del Boy Gunner TV, yes, he sounds like he plays the piano. Yeah, just exactly. And Tony says, exactly, Del Boy. He does sound like a pianist, doesn't he? He really does. So there we go. Yeah, my ear's giving me a bit of jip, but let's see. Let's see what is going on in the games now. So, sure that's right. Hold on, let's see a minute refresh. Right, 67 minutes gone, Craven Cottage, and it's Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2. And Molineux, it's Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Nottingham Forest 0. And in the games in Scotland, it's Celtic 4, Hibernian 1, Livingston 1, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 1, Dundee United 1. The big relegation dogfight there. And it's St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 0. And Tony Blackwell says plays all the tunes. Oh, yeah, he does requests as well, apparently. Harry Toffolo. What a name. I just think it's absolutely hilarious. I love it. Oh, there we go. The bells are ringing. What's this? Okay. Nothing major there. Tony said, did anyone watch the Leicester Palace game? That was so boring. No, I didn't, thankfully, but I've heard it was absolutely horrific. I've read out the comments that Brendan Rodgers made after the game, and he was having a dig at the owners by the sound of it. A few times he kept mentioning about the fact that the summer transfer window didn't go the way that they wanted it to and whatnot. So it sounds like it's not going well. Yeah, I think it is time. I think it's about time we had a little bit of light-hearted entertainment, Tony. So just for you, mate, here it is. So there you go. Fireworks going off for all sorts of reasons now, not even because there's been a goal. But, yeah. And, okay. Breaking news. Oh, here we go. There's some breaking news about football. Man United footballer Mason Greenwood has been charged with attempted rape, engaging in controlling behaviour and assault, the CPS says. So there you go. He's done. Like, that's it. I think if that's the case, that's come from the BBC. That's his career done. He ain't coming back from that. And they throw the key away, to be quite honest. Absolutely disgusting. Tony Blackpool says, just been announced Mason Greenwood to be charged. Yeah, it's just had a notification on my phone about that. So I hope they throw the bloody key away, to be quite honest. Yeah, because if that was my daughter or any of my female friends, I'd be hard pushed not to do time for them, to be honest. And it looks like there's been another goal, people. Hold on just a second. And yeah, there has. It's come at Parkhead, and it's now Celtic 5, Hibernian 1. And Giamakis has got a second goal. So it's time. Let's go and find out about that. Giamakis has got a second goal. He scored in the 73rd minute. And let's see how that goal went in. See if we can see how it went in. No, all I know, it was Georgios Giacomakis of Celtic made it Celtic 5, Hibernian 1. So that's that. See if we can try this and see. Yeah, once again, Celtic rip Hibs open out wide, and substitute Lyle Abada has so much time to pick out Georgios Giacomakis. The Greek striker cracks in a low shot from 16 yards, and defender Rocky Bushiri takes it away from goalkeeper David Marshall with his attempted block in the 6-yard box. So there you go. Sounds like it's been a very comfortable afternoon for Celtic today, but quite a chastening one by the sounds of it for Hibs. So yeah, Celtic 5, Hibernian 1. The rest of the scores so far in the Scottish Premiership: it's Livingston 1, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 1, Dundee United 1, and St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 0. 75 minutes more or less gone in all of those games. And in England, it's 75 minutes gone there too. And it's Fulham 2, AFC Bournemouth 2, Wolverhampton 1, Wanderers 1, Nottingham Forest 0. And don't forget, guys, 5:30 this evening, Tottenham Hotspur are taking on Everton in the evening kickoff. Be interesting to see what happens with that. So let's go to Craven Cottage and see what's going on. No. Okay, maybe we won't find out what's going on. Hold on, let's go to Wolves. And there's a penalty for Nottingham Forest. There was a penalty appeal. Ryan Yates' shirt may have been pulled back by Matthew Nunes. The referee is to check the pitchside monitor again. Right, here we go. Right, so basically, at 16:32, Wolves 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Daniel Podence breaks through the middle and slides in Matheus Nunes. He tries to cut it back, but Scott McKenna gets the block in. The VAR officials are just looking back at a potential foul and handball in the Wolves earlier in the play. Adam Smith challenges Bobby De Cova-Reid inside the Cherries box, and the Fulham forward immediately demands a penalty. Replay shows it's a good fair tackle by Smith. There's been a VAR check. Ryan Wright's shirt may have been pulled back by Matheus Nunes. The referee is off to check the pitchside monitor again. And this time, referee Thomas Bramall has given it. He thinks Matheus Nunes was pulling back Ryan Yates. There was a substitution for Fulham. They're applying real pressure on the Bournemouth penalty area, and Gary O'Neill makes a change, bringing on Yaden Anthony for Marcus Tavernier. And then the penalty was saved. Goalkeeper Jose Sarr goes the right way and denies Brennan Johnson. That's a huge save. It certainly is. There you go. Penalty missed in the game at Craven Cottage. So it stays 2-2. Del Boy Gunner says, is that true? Del, mate, I've just had a notification on my phone from the BBC saying, yeah, it is. So sounds like Mason Greenwood's career is over and done with. I can't see him coming back from that. Yes, Delboy just come through on Sky News and BBC. Delboy says United fans will not be happy. No, they won't. But, you know, if you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime, as they say. Fulham are knocking on Bournemouth's door right now. 100%, mate. They are. Not at all, Delboy. He's got himself to blame and a career now down the drain. 100%, Tony. 100% right, mate. I think that's it. I think he's done, mate. I really do. So 78 minutes gone. It's Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2, Wolves 1, Nottingham Forest 0. So Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Nottingham Forest 0. And in Scotland, it's Celtic 5, Hibernian 1, Livingston 1, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 1, Dundee United 1, and St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 0. In the Championship, it's Bristol City 1, Millwall 2, Burnley 4, Swansea City 0, Cardiff City 0, Coventry City 1, Middlesbrough 1, Blackburn Rovers 2, Preston North End 0, Stoke City 2, Reading 0, West Bromwich Albion 2, Sheffield United 2, Blackpool 3, and last but not least, it's Sunderland 2, Wigan Athletic 1. And Tony says, Ron, you think this is the problem with these youngsters? Get a pro contract, paid silly money, and think they can do what they want. Absolutely, mate. I couldn't agree with you more. That's it in a nutshell. They just think that they're beyond reproach. That's the thing. Ty says, Ron, Arsenal should have signed a striker, for fuck's sake. If Nketiah starts we're at F up. Yeah. Taib was saying earlier that Jesus has picked up an injury and he might be out for tomorrow's game, which means that we're likely to be starting against Leeds with Eddie up front. So it's not good news, guys. Tony says, Taib, that's your manager for you. Maybe he'll get his light bulb out to encourage Nketiah. Exactly. Maybe that's what it is. Either that or put the light bulb up front. Who knows? It certainly light up the opposition penalty area, that's for sure. Jesus. What a shambles, isn't it? It really is. So, in the English Premier League, it's with 5 minutes to go. Wolves are still hanging on. It's 1-0. They lead at home to Nottingham Forest. And 7 minutes to go at Craven Cottage. It's Fulham 2, AFC Bournemouth 2. Fulham 2, AFC Bournemouth 2. Let's go to Molineux and see what's going on there, what the stats and whatnot are saying. So the match stats at Molineux, Wolves have had 60% possession so far. The shot count is 9-8 in favour of Wolves, and shots on target, it's 2 apiece. The corner count, it's 5-4 in favour of Notts Forest, and it's Wolves have made 15 fouls and Forest have made 11. So make of that what you will. And the Premier League table, as it stands, Wolves are 2 points clear of the relegation zone, which means that Southampton are now in the bottom 3 with Leicester and Notts Forest. And see what's going on at Craven Cottage. It's Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2. Just over 5 minutes left to play there. The stats for this one, Fulham have had 70% possession. The shot count is 16-10 in favour of Fulham. The shots on target is 6-3 in favour of Fulham. There's corner count is 5 apiece, and the fouls, it's 10-8. It's Bournemouth made 10 fouls, Fulham have made 8. So, let's see. See if we can see what's going on with the rugby league. Look at that, 9-man Blackpool, 3-2 up at Sheffield United. Let's see. Right, here we go. So, in the Rugby League World Cup today, England beat Samoa by 60 points to 6. Apparently ran in 10 tries. So, yeah, 1. Wellesby got 1. Young got 2. Watkins got 1. Farmworth got 1. Whitehead got 1. Sorry, got 2. Mackerson got 1. Williams got 1. Burgess got 1. And Mackerson got 8 conversions. And Mackerson also got 2 penalties. So, very easy, comfortable win for England. 60 points to 6. But anyway, we're here to talk about football, not about rugby league. So let's see what's going on. 4 minutes to go at Craven Cottage, and it's still Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2. And 3 minutes to go at Molineux, and it's Wolves 1, Nottingham Forest 0. And the scores in Scotland, it's Celtic 5, Hibs 1, Livingston 1, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 1, Dundee United 1, and St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 0. So let's see what's going on in the chat. Where were we? Oh my goodness, I've lost my place. Sheffield United Blackpool game is getting tasty. 2 sent off, says Tony. Yeah, exactly, man. It's getting a bit meaty up there in Sheffield. For Blackpool, who are winning. Exactly. Oh, here we go. That joker's in the chat again. Joanne saying, what's happening? Well, it's currently Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2, Wolves 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Joanne. Tony says 2 Blackpool players sent off in the 78th and 81st minute. Laugh out loud. Oh God, what the hell happened there? How are we doing, Joanne, says Tony. Celtic now 6. Oh my goodness. There you go. Let's go and check that one out. There you go. Celtic 6, Hibernian 1. Maeda scores in the 89th minute, and that was assisted by Moo. So here we go. We need to do this, really. So Celtic 6, Hibernian 1. Let's see how that 6th goal went in. If they'll tell us. No, they're not going to tell us. Anyway, never mind. Let's go back to what we were doing. And so, first minute of added on time at the end of the game between Celtic and Hibs. Celtic 6-1 up at home. So there you go. So 2 minutes to go at Craven Cottage, and it's Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2, and Wolves 1. Wolves 1, Nottingham Forest 0 in the first minute of added on time at the end of the game. And let's look at the chat. Joanne says, Tony Blackwell, I'm fine, thanks. How are you? I'm good, Joanne, thank you. And Taib says, Warren, which 3 teams do you reckon will go down this season? Well, at the moment, it's looking like Notts Forest and potentially Leicester. I don't know. I've got a feeling that Southampton might go as well, but I don't know, man. It's too early to say with anything, really. We've only had like 9 games. And Tony Blackwell says, what do we think about tonight's games? Who wins, the Spuds or the Toffees? I think it's going to be a draw, mate. I think it's going to be a draw. I think Everton have improved since last year, and I think they'll nick a draw, much to the displeasure of the Spuds. And I'm sure Tony will be absolutely delighted. What's this? Yeah, so it's finished up at Parkhead. It's finished Celtic 6, Hibernian 1. Refresh the browser. No, they say the BBC reckons they're still playing, but my little app, the one that the Mr. Del Boy told me about, is absolutely brilliant, I have to say. They told me that the game's finished. It's ended Celtic 6, Hibernian 1. So make sure everyone go and subscribe to Del Boy Gunner's channel. Don't forget as well, I put the link in for his channel in the chat. And also don't forget, tomorrow after the Leeds Arsenal game is finished, he's doing a live call-in show. So make sure you come and get involved with that. You don't have to put your camera on, and you don't even have to, come in to say anything on camera. You can stay in the chat if you want to and have your say from there. So should be absolutely brilliant, as it always is when he does these live call-in shows. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, guys, I'm going to be uploading my chat that I had late last night with Aussie Gooner. Absolutely fascinating insight into the life of a Premier League football fan living in Australia. Honestly, what that poor guy has to go through to watch his beloved Arsenal is just unbelievable. It really is. Getting up at all hours of the morning, and when it's like work also the same day, like it just sounds absolute madness. And Tony says, think Everton have some injuries, so it may work in Spud's favour. But to be honest, they don't look good. What, Spuds or Everton, mate? Because I don't think either of them are looking that great. Tony says, extra 5 minutes on the Fulham game. Fulham should have wrapped this up ages ago. It's been a bit dicey, isn't it? Tony says, we'll subscribe to Del Boy. Big man, Congratulations, Tony. You won't regret it, mate. He does brilliant stuff. Excellent channel. He did some vlogs when he ran over to the Arsenal game recently, so go and check those out. And absolute top drawer stuff. And Ty says, "Oh, give it a rest, Tony." Laugh out loud. I'm in my forte. Ty, laugh out loud. Tony is Tony, mate. Let's have it right. Laugh out loud, Tony. Nice one. Keep it up. And Tony says, "You're welcome." Tony, you're a top man, fella. You really are. And make sure you keep giving it to Terry as well. And no, folks, there hasn't been a goal. I just thought I'd do that for the crack, really, just for laugh. So the games are finished at Parkhead. It's Celtic 6, Hibernian 1. It's finished Ross County 1, Dundee United 1, St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 0. It's still playing at Livingston between Livingston and St Johnstone. Livingston are 1-0 up at present. And it's still Fulham 2. And it's just finished at Craven Cottage. It's finished Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2. And the game between Wolves and Nottingham Forest, they're in the 8th minute of added on time at Molineux. And it's still Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Let's quickly refresh the browser. Yeah. So in a minute, when that game finishes at Molineux, we'll have a look at the English Premier League table. And then when the Scottish Premiership game finishes, we'll have a look at the Scottish Premiership table and see how things are standing in both of those games. We got some comments in the chat, so let's go and have a look at those. And Time says Warren loves his fireworks. Laugh at that, mate. I look forward to that all week. Letting them fireworks off, man. I'm going to start calling me Giddy-O Fawkes. Warren Giddy-O Fawkes from Warren's Team Talk. Tony Blackwell laughing emojis. Absolutely, man. So there we go. So it's finished at Livingston. It ended. Livingston. No, it hasn't finished. It's still playing. They thought they'd finished, but they haven't. And they said that Fulham had finished, and now it hasn't. What the hell is going on? No, it has finished. So it's no, it hasn't. This is crazy. Can you see this, guys? Absolute madness. First it's finished, then it isn't, then it is, then it isn't. Come on, BBC, sort your lives out. So in the Premier League today, it ended Leicester City 0, Crystal Palace 0, Fulham 2, AFC Bournemouth 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Nottingham Forest 0. So those results mean that the table and the Premier League table, this is how it's looking. Wolves have moved out the bottom 3 and they've been replaced by Southampton. And that's the only change, really. Wolves are now 2 points clear of the bottom 3, and Southampton are now in 18th. So Wolves will be happy with that. So let's go back and look at the let's have a look at the Scottish Premier League table. Celtic are now 5 points clear at the top. Rangers have a game in hand. And what the results today mean now is that Livingston are up 5th in the table. Hearts, Aberdeen and Motherwell all dropped down a place. And Ross County are still bottom. Dundee United, Kilmarnock, Dundee United and Ross County are all on 9 points at the bottom of the table, 1 point adrift of St Johnstone. So there you have it, people. That's the state of play. So that's it. Steve Davis gives a huge roar at full time and celebrates with his staff. The noise in Molineux is a clear indication of how important those 3 points are. Steve Cooper is in conversation with the referees. Well, I don't know what that's about, but still, never mind. So let's close that. And let's stop the screen share. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else heard this, but there's rumours flying around as well that Wolves might be bringing back Nuno Espirito Santo, or whatever his name is, to be to take over Wolves. I don't know how true that is. Tony Blackmore says, good stream, Warren. Always good to jump on. Mate, you're always welcome. Always. Say hello to Terry for me. I hope he's good. And try and see if you can persuade him to cut down on that work, because seriously, in all honesty, I'm worried about him. The amount of work he's doing. That's what ended up making me. I'm convinced that's what ended up with me reason that I had my stroke. So please, Terry, please, Tony, please see if you can talk some sense into him. I know how bloody stubborn he is, but please, mate, try and see if you can get him to sort it out, because he needs to look after his health and he needs to look after his family, because I'm sure they'd rather have him here and in good health rather than, being ill. It is, or isn't it? The suspense is killing us. What's the question? I'm not sure I know what the question is to answer it. Wolves left that late. Yes, they did, man. And I heard that rumour last night about Nuno's return. Yeah, exactly. That would be absolutely mad. And the upper tier, big up, Ron. Great show. Thank you very much. I'm assuming that's Niall. If it is, thanks very much for hopping on, mate. I hope you enjoyed it. And, mate, I absolutely love your streams. That one the other night that you did when you was going on about Del Boy and his bingo was absolutely hilarious. I loved it, man. And I've got an idea about doing a stream, hosting a stream for you, Del Boy, and Carl Walsh Gunner about Irish football. So if it's all right, I'll contact you probably some beginning of next week about that, because I really I think it would be brilliant and I'd love to have you on it. And Del Boy says, great stream, Warren. Thanks for the last. Mate, it's an absolute pleasure. I love doing this. Yeah, I had a good chat with Terry about doing too much, Warren. He will be slowing down. Good. I'm glad to hear it. And the upper tier says 100%. Thank you, man. The upper tier says quality stuff. Del's a legend. Mate, he's a top man. I love the fella. I absolutely love him. He's a great mate. Although we've never ever met in person, I feel like I know him. And I love chatting to him. He's a really funny guy. And, yeah, fair play to the fella. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there. Thanks, all of you, for tuning in. I'm just going to give a shout out to all of you who've been in. So we've had, hold on, let me get it right to the beginning of the stream, because I want to make sure that everyone gets a mention. So we've had Joanne Smith, that psychopath. I want to block that fella. Sorry. Let's get him out. No, okay, it's not going to do it. So, Del Boy Gunner, TV, Taib Hussain, Tony Blackwell, Gracie-Mae, and who else have we had in here today? You're all absolute legends, all of you, as far as I can tell. We had Carl Walsh Gunner in earlier as well, but it's not showing that chat. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on with this StreamYard thing. StreamYard's really frustrating sometimes for me. Maybe because I'm old and technophobe or something or whatnot. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's about it, guys. And the Apatia, of course. And the Apatia says Irish football, good Lord, laugh out loud. Yeah, I'll tell you more, but when I send you the message, mate. But I've had this idea about a show that we could do about the Irish national team. You're going to play us out on the piano. We're a bit way. Yeah, exactly. No, I took about and did it my way. See, that's why I'll never have a career as a singer. So that I strangled bloody cat. And don't forget your good self, Warren. Yes, and me, Warren from Warren's Team Talk. Thanks very much for coming, guys. I hope you really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be uploading a video that I recorded last night with me and the Aussie Gooner having a chat about his life as a Premier League Arsenal fan and living in Australia. Some of the stories he told me were unbelievable, but I'm not going to say any more. Just make sure you check it out because it is pure gold, honestly. And the upper tier says, heard Carl's a big Finn Harps fan. I don't know about that, mate. We'll see. And come on, Reds, down with the oil money. Yeah, good luck tomorrow. I hope you turn them over. You'll be doing us a big favour, mate. And I've shared your streams with two of my friends who are big Liverpool fans, and they both love it, mate. Honestly. So one of them, his name's Ed, and he comes from the north of Ireland. He's back living in the Northern Ireland now. He was living and working in London, but he works from home. He's still working for the same company, but he just does it from home. So he's a top one. And watch out for the dirty Leeds. Yeah, and they were dirty back in the 70s. Bloody hell! Anyone who hasn't watched that film, The Damned United, and you want to know about football in the 70s, go and watch that film because it was like that. It was madness, absolute madness. How they managed to get away with it, I do not know. But anyway, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. I've really enjoyed it. It was a great laugh, as it always is. So have a great evening or afternoon or morning, whatever time of day it is. And the upper tier says quality film. Yeah, it was superb stuff, mate. Have a great rest of your day, whatever you're doing. Thanks very much for tuning in. Please make sure you look after your families and loved ones and share some love and kindness around the world. Take care of yourselves, and I'll look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care, everyone, and have a great rest of your days. Thanks a lot. Cheers, everyone. Bye for now.